We are just over 11 months away from the release of Star Wars Episode 9 by writer and director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one reason as to why I'm so fascinated about this movie is the curiosity. I'm really curious as to exactly how J.J. Abrams is really going to tie everything together and is going to be able to succeed with Episode 9 in really closing the Skywalker saga and wrapping all 9 movies together into one big epic movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. However, what's really intriguing is that it is described that at the very end of Episode 9, within the third act of the film, the big plot twist to come by JJ and Chris Terrio is going to change many elements within Star Wars The Last Jedi, and completely change our view on how we think of the movie. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I find this very confusing on exactly how they could really pull off such a stunt. Now, if this plot twist at the very end of Star Wars Episode 9 within the third act is truly going to change our view on The Last Jedi itself and really kind of change people's opinions on the movie, what could they quite possibly be doing at the very end of this film? Now, the first thing that comes to mind is that they're going to change Rey's identity last minute at Episode 9. It's going to be a last minute thing, you know, at the very end of the film where we learn who she really is. That'll change our whole entire view on Star Wars The Last Jedi and even The Force Awakens. The other thing here is that they're going to bring Luke Skywalker back to life with a twist. Maybe they bring him back to life only temporarily and then he returns back to the netherworld of the Force after he has done his part and role in Episode 9. It could have something to do with that that'll change our whole entire opinion on The Last Jedi. But in my opinion, I don't think people are going to change their feelings or how they see The Last Jedi regardless of a certain plot twist or exactly what they're going to do at the very end of Episode 9. So if it truly is going to reflect on The Last Jedi that much, where this massive plot twist at the very end of this movie is really going to change people's views on Episode 8, I really think it has to be something dramatic and something, you know, drastic for one of the characters at least, either Rey, Kylo Ren, or Luke Skywalker. More importantly, Luke Skywalker, in my opinion. Now, we do know that Mark Hamill actually shot a scene with George Lucas and J.J. Abrams that is described as a major revelation at the very end of this film. So this massive plot twist probably has something to do with Luke Skywalker that's going to change our whole entire viewpoint on Episode 8 when it comes to that character. Now, if we look at J.J. Abrams, you know, as a director, as a writer, the common thing that people say is he's a great fixer but not a great closer. And I can totally understand that. I have seen that before in some of the projects that he has actually worked on. So if he's going to fix many different elements of The Last Jedi within Episode 9, which by the way he is doing, that's why there's also a lot of script rewrites and adjustments right now, is that it's reflecting on, of course, the backlash from The Last Jedi, and, you know, exactly how they're going to really perform things in this movie that'll reflect on the whole entire sequel trilogy as a whole. So when I look at J.J. Abrams, that's my biggest concern. It's not just about the fixing of Episode 8 in Episode 9, but it's also how Episode 9 is going to close. Will it be open-ended? Is it going to be pretty much, you know, a story that wraps on itself, and then we move on to a new Star Wars trilogy completely that has nothing to do with anybody within that portion of the galaxy or those characters? You know, if they truly ever wanted to revisit the Skywalker saga, you know, hypothetically, let's say 10 years from now, if they really wanted to do that, they really do have to leave an open-ended ending. And I think that's Disney's insurance. If they had to do that, they should do that. Because let's say, for example, if the new Star Wars trilogy just doesn't do too well, and then at that point, you know, they're pulling out blanks, they don't really know what to do, then they're going to have to revert to the Skywalker saga once more. So, with that being said, you know, if you don't have an open ending, it's not going to make much sense for them to go back to that actual bloodline. So, if they're going to really pull off an actual ending that has all to do with a major plot twist that's going to change our view on The Last Jedi, that's pretty high praise in my opinion for Episode 9. I think that when we look at everything that's happening with this movie, there's a lot of back and forth. There has been script adjustments, script rewrites, some reshoots are planned here and there. Though, yes, it isn't too significant. They're still pretty much on schedule. They had a little bit of a delay in production. They're going to be filming most likely to the very end of February now, as opposed to early to mid-February. So there's that, and there's also that they're going to be doing a lot of post-production work on this film, which tells us that there's going to be a lot more CGI, a lot more special effects that are actually next generation. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments. What do you think about this plot twist at the very end of the movie and how it's going to change our view on The Last Jedi within the ending of Episode 9? Is this really possible? Can they really pull this off without bringing Luke back to life or changing Rey's lineage at last minute? If anything, I think that they should reveal Rey's lineage in the middle of the movie. That's my point of view. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.